Let's talk about Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons. This is a playoff caliber team. When you look at this division, they only have one team to worry about, and that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, they beat them a couple weeks ago on Thursday Night Football. They won the game 36-30 in overtime. That's the game where Kirk Cousins had over 500 passing yards and 4 passing touchdowns. They face them next week as I record this video. Even though they have weapons like Drake London, Darnell Mooney, who has been very good, and Kyle Pitts, who is making a comeback, he hasn't looked this good since his rookie season when he was with Matt Ryan. Their defense is a major problem. They can't stop the run, and they cannot pressure the quarterback on a consistent basis. They made a trade to go out there and get Matthew Judon. He only has 1.5 sacks on the season, and that's the same with Grady Jarrett. The problem is this with Matthew Judon. He is still a very good football player. But this is the problem. He's getting double teamed and chip blocked. So essentially, he's getting triple teamed. They're not worried about anyone else. Grady Jarrett, very good run stopper. The same with David Onyemata. Their secondary with Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons, those are 2 elite safeties. Their defense as a whole, they can't stop the fundamentals. If you can't stop the run and you can't pressure the quarterback, you're not going to win many playoff games. And I look at this Falcons team, they can make the NFL playoffs. They can beat up on bad teams like the New Orleans Saints, who are injured right now, and the Carolina Panthers. But in order to get to that Super Bowl push that they want to get to, you have to beat teams like the Detroit Lions. You have to beat teams like the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings, the San Francisco 49ers, if they can make it out their division. What happened today against the Seattle Seahawks should not happen. You only scored 14 points. Now, Kirk Cousins did throw 2 interceptions in this game, but to have 34 points put on your neck, that's not a good sign, especially when you have a defensive head coach in Raheem Morris. Now, this was just one bad week, in my opinion, because Kirk Cousins had those 2 interceptions, but we can go back earlier into the season. They shouldn't have lost to the Steelers 18-10. You lost to a team that only kicked field goals. Coach Robinson, I understand that was his first game in the NFL calling plays. Why would you put Kirk Cousins in the pistol formation for majority of the game? That is not how things should work out for you, especially when you have a quarterback like Kirk Cousins. And you have 2 very good running backs in Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. We saw this a couple weeks ago when they ran the football down the throats of the Carolina Panthers. You can't have Kirk Cousins go out there every single week and throw the football for over 300 yards in every single game, because it's not going to work out. Stick to the script, stick to the run game, and use time of possession, and then work off a play action. You look at the game against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's their most frustrating loss. They lost that game 22-17. The defense played amazing. It came down to a pass interference play the referees did not call. Kyle Pitts is in the red zone. The defender helmet is in his chest. He cannot turn his head around. And it was a catchable ball. They should have called that. They would have been on the 1-yard line, and they would have went out there. And I have a lot of faith in Tyler Algier in the red zone situation. They would have walked away with 6. And that would have led on to 7 if you make the field goal, the extra point. So I look at it from this situation with the Falcons. You're in a lot of close football games. You have to clean up the mistakes. What happened today against the Seattle Seahawks should have not happened. It's no shame in losing to the Seattle Seahawks, but it's the way that they did. And Coach Morris has to go out there and rally the troops. He has to find a way to get more pressure on the opposing quarterback by blitzing and leaving your cornerbacks in one-on-one situations. There's nothing wrong with that. When I look at the secondary of the Atlanta Falcons, I love every single piece that they have. Jesse Bates, in my opinion, is the best do-it-all safety in the NFL right now in terms of tackling, breaking down screens, going out there covering the running back out the backfield, covering tight ends. He was phenomenal last season. He's been phenomenal this season. Justin Simmons, he's on his last leg in the NFL, but don't get it mistaken. He can steal ball as well. The defense needs a lot of work in the front 7 department. I wish their linebackers would just fill in the gaps just a little bit better to go out there and contain the run, because this is really bothering me. They're in the bottom of the league in terms of stopping the run game. You can't get gashed every single week. And this was not a problem for the Atlanta Falcons last season. I don't see the Atlanta Falcons going 7-10 or going 8-9 this season. I see them winning 10 games. I really do. I think that the Atlanta Falcons, if they go out there and they clean up these defensive mishaps, they can win some close football games. They can go out there and they can compete with some of the better teams in the NFC. I look at the San Francisco 49ers right now. They're beat to hell. They're injured. I look at the Dallas Cowboys. They can't stop the run, and they can't run the football. Now, if the Atlanta falcons are going against a team like that, they're going to feast on them. Funny enough, The Atlanta Falcons face them in a couple of weeks. And if the Falcons are fully healthy, they should easily take care of the Dallas Cowboys, because we've seen this in the past as well. They stop the run game of a team. They go out there, they pounce on your quarterback. They're forcing those guys at the line of scrimmage to make adjustments, and they're going to play that press man coverage. That's what Raheem Morris loves to do, but he has to go out there and opt from that game plan. He's not doing that. They went out there, they played press man coverage against the Seattle Seahawks, and it did them in, especially with DK Metcalf. And Jackson Smith and Jigba went out there and they got him on a trick play. You can't have those type of plays. And I understand this is Raheem Morris' first time going out there and being a head coach for the Atlanta Falcons since he was an interim head coach, but he has head coaching experience with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And like I mentioned a couple of seconds ago, with the Atlanta Falcons, he has to be better as a head coach. And Coach Robinson has to do a better job in spreading the football out between Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson. I am still sticking with this team long term. I think that Kirk Cousins has the ability to go out there and make a deep playoff run if this defense can get better. And you can bring up the statistics that Kirk Cousins has not been the most successful quarterback in the NFL playoffs. That's fine. I'm not going to argue with you. But at the same time, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts, they've never had a quarterback like this before. Now, Kyle Pitts got to play with Matt Ryan when he was on his last leg. That was his last season with the Atlanta Falcons, and they traded him to the Indianapolis Colts. So we're starting to see those guys step up. If the offense can go out there and they can still score it at a high amount, and the defense can just step up a little bit, this could be a top-tier force in the NFC. I'm still all in on this team. Right now, when they go against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that does concern me, because that's a team that's going to try to go out there and run the football, work off of play action. But they've proven in the past they can win shootouts. And I don't want to just be all doom and gloom in this video. Darnell Mooney has been very good. When I mean very good, he has been Mr. Consistent with the team. Him and Drake London. Darnell Mooney has been a phenomenal wide receiver. Drake London, I'll say this about Drake London. He isn't going to get the separation like a Darnell Mooney, but he is so physical off the press to where he can blow by you at times, and he is amazing with the 50-50 catches as well. And Kyle Pitts, you guys know how I feel about him. Since they drafted him, I thought he was going to be this generational tight end. Unfortunately, he hasn't been that guy, but he has been very good and reliable this season in terms of just going out there and doing the most with the catches that he has receiving from Kirk Cousins. So when I look at the Falcons, they have a strong offensive line. They have good weapons on the perimeter with Kirk Cousins, two very good running backs in Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. I like what they have. It's just the defense and it's the front seven. That's it. But when I look at A.J. Terrell, very good cornerback in my opinion. Mike Hughes, he's solid as well. There's one loss. Don't get down if you're an Atlanta Falcons fan. Yes, you're 4-3, but you're in a lot of close football games. You lost to the Steelers by one possession, 18-10. You lost to the Kansas City Chiefs by one possession, 17-22. And the defense played well in those games. You went out there, you beat the Philadelphia Eagles, and Kirk Cousins had a great last drive. You're still figuring things out, and that's okay. We're headed towards the middle point in the season. We just need to see some consistency out of them moving forward. Their next couple of games are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That can be a close battle. The Dallas Cowboys. That should be an easy game for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The New Orleans Saints. Will Derek Carr play or not? But regardless, that team is beat to hell. It's the walking wounded over there. That should be an easy win for the Atlanta Falcons. Then they face the Denver Broncos as well. So when I look at what they have in front of them, it's a tough schedule because of the Buccaneers and the Denver Broncos, but those are two easy winnable games between the Dallas Cowboys and the New Orleans Saints. So I think that the Falcons will be okay. Then they have a bye week in week 12. You go back, you reassess some things there. I like what the Falcons are doing. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about the Atlanta Falcons moving forward? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless. Peace.